I'm sure to enjoy it with temperatures in the 70s. Here we go into the Wednesday morning hours. A breeze coming in out of the northeast. That's actually going to keep temperatures a bit cooler there for Wednesday. As for this afternoon, looking for a high temperature in Atlanta around 68, 70 in Athens, 70 in Covington, 70 in Milledgeville. Mind you, with sunset at 8 something, this high temperature is happening at about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon now. Let's talk about this because it's a developing situation that we continue to keep tabs on. The drought monitor. One, look at the state of Georgia and how much is included in at least severe drought. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but let's zoom in on our area real quick. And you're going to see from the upstate of South Carolina down into Elbert County, over into the Athens area, lifting up into Clarksville and Blue Ridge. That's where you're in extreme. Going to talk more details about that and when we get back into the 80s here in a few minutes. Caitlin?
All right, we'll see you then. Lots to talk about.
Especially if you're in the shade, it's going to feel especially cool, but then we'll trade that in for afternoon temperatures that get close to 70 degrees. That's not all the way up to the normal high. We are into the month of May, so we would expect that May temperatures would be closer to 80 degrees. But after today, we're going to get a lot closer to. We'll take a closer look at that weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. Natalie?
Joanne, thank you.
That map looks worse than this one does. After a high of 81 degrees on Wednesday, that's average. We're going to trade that in for mid-70s this afternoon. Records, though, this time of year are near or above 90, and we could tie a record by Sunday. But first up is this. Sunshine and mid to upper 70s. We'll keep it clear tonight. The winds that are breezy throughout the afternoon are going to die down. So we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Buck and Alex. Is something that has not happened since the drought updates had been started getting issued back in 2000. So that's been 26 years now that's been the case. All right, so when do we get more rain? How much rain are we possibly looking at? Let's roll it to Wednesday. Some of you in far north Georgia might measure a little bit of rain during the day Wednesday, but a lot of what we're talking about here comes in Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And we'll hope that this can happen here where we actually get widespread amounts of an inch or more. That's the kind of rain that we need to get regularly to try to get a crawl out of this drought. It's going to take some time regardless. There's not going to be one single drought busting event. Not that we would want to get the amount of rain that we need in one go. Let's talk about this, though. Will there be severe weather with this? We know the rain will be welcome. The system that will bring us our rain is going to be a severe weather maker, but probably not here in North Georgia. As it stands right now, from Wednesday into Thursday, there will be severe weather that occurs across several states, but that kind of cuts off right there in northern Alabama, and we'll see if that gets nudged in a different direction here between now and early Thursday morning. But there's not much out there right now. It is a clear sky across the which is going to ultimately take us into the 70s today. I just want to prepare you for the fact that when you walk out the door tomorrow morning, it's still going to be chilly enough maybe for a jacket. It is a step northeast. So as we continue to track this, we've got some more updates coming your way in a few minutes. Ron. week, and that's going to be Wednesday night and Thursday. That's what we're going to be focused on for our best chance of rain. You're not going to get a drop out there because there's not a single cloud out there. Right now it's 54 degrees, but we started out this morning actually with a frost advisory in effect in the North Georgia mountains. That expired at the top of the hour as temperatures are starting to move up, and I'll show you which days are most likely to bring us some of that needed rain coming up in a few minutes. Alex and Caitlin. Keeping the skies nice and clear. Here's what's going to happen going forward. We're going to get close to 70 degrees for that high temperature, but what's a little more typical for May would be upper 70s. We're not going to reach that mark today. And then as soon as the sun is setting, the temperatures will cool back down again pretty quickly. 9 p.m. number is 63 degrees, but we should be down into the 40s and 50s by sunrise on Monday. That's what you're going to step out the door to tomorrow. But even tomorrow is a dry day. What will happen next? All right, so we're going to be watching where that center of high pressure ends up over the next few days. I'll show you what we're expecting out of that coming up in a few minutes. Natalie?
Joanne, thank you.
Really good indication that we are not expecting rain today. But as we look at the rain over the course of the past few weeks, the way it's been totaling up, I will apologize. That number is not correct. We did not pick up almost an inch of rain at Hartsfield before the week is finished. I'll show you which day that is most likely to happen coming up in a few minutes. Natalie?
Joanne, thank you.
A 40% chance for some scattered afternoon showers that will still be around, mainly favoring the eastern side of the state and maybe even a storm before all is said and done. Then for tomorrow, somewhere sunny and 70, that is going to be Atlanta, but that's not before we see a chilly morning here across the metro area with temperatures getting down into the 40s and maybe even some 30s up across the mountain. Comes your way here in a little bit. Caitlin?
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks so much, Alex.
75, the lower end here of Lake Allatoona. So for those of you across northwest Cobb County, get ready for some impressive downpours here. This particular complex of storms moving along to the east at nearly 50 miles an hour. You have another complex, but I'm going to be really watching this line right here along near I-85 as it moves a little bit closer to our radar site. It's going to clip North Fayette County, crossing over into Clayton County. For those of you near the airport, Rockdale, going all the way down to Jonesboro and even into Fayetteville, get ready for some heavy downpours there. There is the risk that you are still likely to get some rotation in certain areas based on that tornado watch continuing into the 2 o'clock hour. Also the flood risk, and I think that is our main problem of the night. I will walk you through those threats and when all of this will be in our rearview mirror that's coming up throughout the hour.
All right, Jonathan, thanks. Now let's get out to Fox 5's Denise Dillon, who has been in the storm chaser throughout the area.
Now she's following the storms as
So we have been in northwest
going to be in the afternoon, but it is going to end up being the reverse there. And then we're drier and cooler here into spring break. A live look over Truist Park at this hour. A pretty nice morning if you can ignore the cloud cover, right? 64 is where things stand at this moment. So here's the drought monitor now. All right, this is now the worst drought in Georgia since 2012. We really need the rain. We're going to have the opportunity to pick some up. It's just not going to be enough of it. How much is enough? Well, we need about an inch to an inch and a half of rain each week for 3 months now. We're not going to come close to that, unfortunately, through the month of April, and this is prolonging now an extremely dry period. We've been a foot below in terms of our rainfall compared to any time before, compared to average between September and now. So yes, we need the rain, and no, we have not seen enough of it. So here's our deficit now. We started March off on a pretty good note, right? Saw several days of rainfall totals between 2/3 and an inch of rain. Well, didn't last past St. Patrick's Day, right? We've been dry since. We will see some rain tomorrow, but it's not necessarily going to be a lot of it. 67 is where we stand now. That's 2 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. A breeze out of the south at about 6 miles an hour. So here's where our shower activity is right now. Up into Ellijay, Cartacay, over towards Jasper. That's sliding into Fannin County here in the next couple of minutes. Also into Union County, Blairsville, likely looking at a heavier shower before all is said and done. Looks like you got a couple of sprinkles down in Forsyth County as well on the Fulton County line, and then also a batch there on the banks of Lake Lanier. So 83 today for this 404 day. Coming up here in a little bit, we're going to talk about 80s back in the picture, though, by the time we get to the weekend. First, let's get a check of the roads this morning with Natalie.
Hey, Alex, thank you so
But also Monday on Groundhog Day. Now notice we're still below freezing to start that day, but we'll bounce back up to 48 in the afternoon. We've really lost sight of what is normal for temperatures this time of year. That would be mid-50s. We actually have that in our extended forecast. We'll get there for Tuesday and Wednesday, so that should mean we're warm enough for only rain with that next system for the middle of next week. Tom and Alex.
All right, Joanne, thanks so much. Before we leave you here on this extended version of Good Day Atlanta on a Saturday morning, want to take you live outside for another look at conditions as we track this wintry storm that is passing